Check out of the comforting lies of America. I was born in 1979 in southern Arkansas to an evangelical Baptist family. My parents just passed 53 years of marriage. There's no divorce anywhere up in my family tree. And I was taught, like many of you, about the comforting lies of this country. We were told to get good grades, and I did. I was told to be an athlete, and I was. I was told to be the team captain, and I was. I was told to go to college, and I did. I was told to continue athletics, and I did. I was a Longhorn athlete at the University of Texas. I was told to serve my country, and I did, in the United States Navy. And I was told to get married because that's what people do. And I was told that if I did all of these things, that I would be rewarded by my nation. I would have a grateful nation. All of it was a lie. These institutions that I was told to give my youth and my fertility and my energy and my young years to, these institutions are Ponzi schemes built to encourage you to give your energy into them so that they can feed off of your youth on the idea of false promises. I believe these promises were real at one point in time. Probably the last one that saw it were the baby boomer generation. They were the last generation where these promises held true. We no longer live in that nation. Okay? These institutions, the Institution of Education, the Institute of Higher Education, the Institute of the Military, the Institution of Marriage, and it is an institution, on to the Institution of Divorce, which I went through divorcing a drug addict. The Institution of Divorce, it's just that, an institution that's a Ponzi scheme designed to extract maximum money and value out of you and to strip mine you and your children so that they can go to conferences and they can buy another yacht and they can be rich. Same thing goes for the military. Young men and women, but I really am speaking to the young men because we're the ones that get drafted. You are under no patriotic obligation to check into these comforting lies. You are under no rule, no paramount to give over your energy, your life, your time, your human involvement to any of these things. All right? The path that you're going to walk is going to be the non-traditional path. If you're watching this channel, it's because you're interested in more. You're interested in better. You're interested in making money and trying to keep it. Think about all the institutions I mentioned at the opening of this video. Why do they tell you to get really, really good grades? Well, simple. It makes the administration look better. It gets more money for the high school. They get more funding because high schools are funded like prisons. How many kids per day are in the building is how they get paid. They get paid per head, per kid, per day. It's literally the same economics of a prison. Why do the colleges push the colleges so hard? It's the greatest scam in our country, everybody. Okay? You pay them to go to their institution to work for them. Right? Under this disguise of, oh, if you get a degree, you'll have a better life. I live in a college town, Denton, Texas. I cannot tell you how many master's degrees serve me coffee. All right? How many master's degrees have come and worked in my trash and demolition company as laborers? So why do the universities tell you to come to them and give them money and work for them? Well, because you're paying for the pension and you're paying for the tenure and you're paying for the administrator that makes $600,000 a year and the president that makes $2.5 million. It's the greatest scam in our country. You go to them, you give them your money, and you do their work. If somebody walked up to me and said, hey, I'll pay you $200 today to fill up one of your dumpsters on one of your sites so that I can learn how to fill a dumpster, I'd be an idiot not to take the deal. Now, because I have a conscience, I wouldn't do it. I'd say, well, no, I pay you $200 and you fill my dumpsters. But the other reverse situation is how the universities work. It's such a great scam. The military, now that's a complex environment. But if you're not getting a high-level inspection, certificate like an NDT in the Air Force, or you're not becoming a Navy Seabee high builder, you know, with all the welding certificates or something you can walk out with and make money immediately, the military is not a place for most of us. I found that out. Nothing I learned in the military transferred over to the real world. And if you go get the proverbial job that the government tells you to get, like, oh, go get a good job, go get that good job, go work in that corporate environment. If you're a man, you're going to run into this wall of HR. You're going to be given these wokeness and diversity books, you know, on how terrible you are and just how bad. Because in my lifetime, I'm 45, born in 79. In the last 25 years, every race of man has just been mauled by social engineering. White dudes are, you know, racist and patriarchy. Black guys are on drugs and they abandon their kids. Mexican guys drink too much and cheat on their wives. Asian guys are not emotional and they work too hard. Every single one of us has just, it's been this onslaught of how terrible we are just in my adult life. But yet they want you to check into their institutions and give your money and your youth and your power. Why do they want you checking into corporate America? Simple, because they take half of everything you make away from you. And then when you get a 401k and you finally turn into retirement, I've heard some 401ks taxed at a 35% rate. Even in retirement, they take $35 out of every $100 that you have saved for yourself in retirement. It's a giant Ponzi scheme. And one of the points of this series of videos is not only to show you that there's money in the dirt, there's money in getting dirty, there's money in fixing people's pools, there's money in metal recycling, there's money in welding, there's money in things. It's also to teach you to check out of the comforting lies of this country. In a later video, I'll get into divorce because that's a big one, and especially married to addiction. I wasn't the addict. And all the fun that comes with being married to addiction, from your children in the hospital to adultery, you don't have to check into the comforting lies of America. You can check out. Patriotism is not required. You can walk your own road. You can make your own money. You can develop an escape plan. You know, that could be living on a boat in the Caribbean. That could be working in another country. That could be working remotely. That could be staying in America, you know, and finding the cheaper places to live. But you are under no obligation to follow the road in which they have set out for you, because it's not for you. Take it from a 45-year-old man born in the 70s. I did it all. I bought into the lies. And I wish that I hadn't. You young men, and yes, young women that are interested in the message, you are very valuable. Your youth has value. Your energy has value. You got 50 years ahead of you. And I'd love to be a part of helping you make better decisions that 10, 15, 20 years down the line yield you a very healthy and positive life. My name's John. I live in Denton, Texas, and I'm going to be throwing out good ideas for the young and the old. Stick around.